Shalom. I'm back with another lesson. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, listening and learning. I want to entitle this lesson, Do Not Make Haste in the Time of Trouble, because like the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 2 reads, let's read it real quick. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. We have to remember part of this walk is suffering. That's the Lord brought us into this truth, into this marvelous light to suffer, just like our King Yahweh Shai suffered, He suffered that straight way, that straight gate, that narrow path that ultimately exalted him. And that's going to lead to immortality. That's going to lead to rulership in the kingdom of heaven. And we have to have that stoic mindset, because in the flesh is very weak. You get uncomfortable, or perfect example, you put your hand over fire. The first thing you're going to do is fucking move, right? The first thing you're going to do is your reflex is to move your hand out of that fire so you won't burn yourself. But we have to really be strong in this. We have to really pray for strength to endure the hardships that we're going to face, because all of us are catching hell. We're all catching hell, but it doesn't compare to the hell we're going to really be catching when we become outcasts in the society, when we become enemies of the state, when Esau comes after us, starts threatening your family members, locks you up, or even beheads you in those guillotines. So, and it's going to be real uncomfortable, real painful, but we have to have that mindset, like, fuck the flesh, The spirit can endure, the flesh is weak. That's what we need to constantly pray to the Lord and remind ourselves, we're here to suffer. We're not here to be comfortable. We're here to suffer. So let me read it one more time. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. So we have to remember, you're catching hell. It's getting real uncomfortable. You are where you need to be. The Lord is refining you, So the next precept I had was stay in Sirach 2, and we jump down to verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. And that's part of that humbling process. We have to remain humble. We can't get too high and mighty. Because, before anything, we're men, Before anything, we're men. And we like to be praised. Not worship, but praised by women especially, right? You like to be praised by women. You like people to look at you a certain way, like, yeah, he's the man, right? But we have to remain humble. Wait for the kingdom. You endure to the end, you'll be the fucking king in the kingdom. Under Yahweh Shai, you'll be a king, a malak. But we have to remain humble. And not get emotional. No matter the situation you get, the Lord will humble your ass and just take it, because imagine Yahweh Shai, he could have destroyed all of them. He had the power to destroy all those Romans, and he allowed them to torture him and hang him up on that cross, because that was his path, that was his destiny, and he did that as the ultimate sacrifice for us to receive salvation, and we're forever grateful. So take cheerfully the chastisement that the Lord gives you, because that means he's dealing with you. The next precept I had was 1 Peter 4 and 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Verse 13. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Yeah, because we're suffering just for a season. These are the last days of the last days of Esau's rulership. We're so close to the finish line. And it's going to get, the grand finale is going to get hard. Esau's going to go all out. And it's going to get hard, We're going to scarcely be saved. I forgot what precept that was, but we're going to scarcely be saved. And the Lord ain't going to give you what you can't handle. If you're part of the elect, you're already predestined to get the victory. We're predestined to get the victory. The Lord is not going to put you through something where we're going to tap out. Nah, we're going to exercise our faith. We're going to exercise our faith and make it through the sufferings. Just how Yahushua made it through the ultimate sacrifice. The next precept I had was John chapter 15 and verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So we ain't exempt from that persecution. It's coming. You know, Esau has every one of us that goes out in the highways and byways. He has the prophets in a database. He knows who we are. You know, he's just waiting to make his move. And the Lord will come through for us. But we're gonna have to, it's part of this walk, persecution. And I was watching a video of the elder apostle Gabar saying how there's a lot of men in camps and men that know they're Israelites, but they have it all wrong. You know, they're trying to party and have a good time. We're trying to suffer. You know, we take it gladly. Like, okay, you know, the Lord's chastising me. The Lord's putting me through this very uncomfortable situation. But hey, you want to be strong? You pray for strength. The Lord will give you a situation to exercise that strength. And we understand that. You know, we're grateful that the Lord has given us this insight to know what the mission is. And we got the victory. It's written. This is just, we upload these epistles for encouragement. You know, maybe an Akim is feeling kind of low. I hope, you know, whoever's listening could get uplifted. Because I was catching hell, you know. I was going through it. And today, you know, the Lord came through for me, a blessing. You know, I won't go into details, but I was like, yo, Tawada, how about shoot me? I was shy. I could have been a bitch and complained. You know how a lot of Jake are like, oh, woe was me, that woe was me spirit. But I took it like a man, took it to the chin. And, hey, the Lord came through for me today. So, hey, it's not just persecution, hell. You get that little wiggle room. The Lord's going to give you that breather. You know, get the breather, catch your breath. All right, continue. So the next precept I had was Luke 21 and verse 16. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And that's part of that persecution. Some of us are going to have to be put to death. That's the ultimate test of your faith, you know? And imagine that your own parents turn your ass in. Your own parents turn you in. Your own so-called family members. And we can't get emotional, you know? They're gonna partake in that lake of fire, you know? You get your head cut off in a guillotine, that's quick. I'll take that any day over the lake of fire. So you can't get emotional. That was, you know, just how Judas turned in Yahushua. That was part of the story. Verse 17, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. You see that? You don't want to be liked. That's another thing. You know, people are going to hate you. The closer to the end we get, the more, once they start demonizing the prophets and the Israelites, people are going to despise you. Hey, but that's okay. Yahushua was hated. How much more us, you know? And verse 18, but there shall not an hair of your head perish. You see that? So the Lord will preserve his elect. Don't get it twisted. So the last precept I had was Revelation 2 and 10. This is a powerful precept. It reads, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's what it is. Endure. That's what the name of the game is. Suffer and endure like a good servant. And only the Lord knows why he wrote the movie the way he did. You know, we had to, before we get that power, before we get that godlike status in the kingdom, he had to bring us very low estate. And we understand this, and it's beautiful, man. You know, we understand how it was to be at the very bottom our weak ass body kingdom, we're going to be like gods, pertaining to Psalms. I believe it's Psalms 82. You are gods, all your children of the Most High. And that's talking about the elect. So yeah, be prepared. Be prepared to don't panic, you know. You get put in a situation, the Lord put you in a certain situation, do not panic. We have foresight. We wake up every day expecting it, you know. So, hey Akim, we almost out of here. I pray this lesson was edifying. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'll see you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.